What if everything you believed about college football, rankings, dominance, and destiny, collapsed in a single season? What if being number one didn't mean safety? Being favored meant nothing, and chaos became the rule instead of the exception? The year was 2007, and college football didn't just surprise fans, it completely lost control. Over the course of one unforgettable season, powerhouse programs fell weakly, unranked teams shocked giants, and national title contenders were erased in the blink of an eye. 13 times, top 5 teams lost to unranked opponents. Dreams vanished, legends were born, and the sport was forever changed. This wasn't just a chaotic season, it was the season that broke college football. A calm before the storm. Entering the 2007 season, everything appeared normal on the surface. USC sat comfortably atop the rankings, loaded with NFL talent and expected to dominate. LSU's defense looked as intimidating as ever. Florida returned Tim Tebow for his highly anticipated sophomore season after a national championship run. Michigan, fueled by Chad Henne and Mike Hart, was preparing a redemption tour after narrowly missing the title game the year before. The hierarchy felt established. Power programs were expected to rule. Underdogs were expected to stay in their place. No one anticipated how quickly that structure would collapse. Appalachian State changes everything. The chaos tornado touched down immediately. On opening weekend, Appalachian State walked into Michigan Stadium as a 33-point underdog. To most of the country, this looked like a tune-up game. What they didn't realize was that Appalachian State was a back-to-back FCS national champion with a dynamic quarterback in Armanti Edwards. From the opening drive, Edwards made it clear this wasn't going to be business as usual. Appalachian State executed flawlessly, ripping off big plays and scoring 21 unanswered points in the second quarter. By halftime, Michigan trailed 28-17, and disbelief rippled through the Big House. Michigan responded behind Mike Hart, who refused to let his season die quietly. His 2 rushing touchdowns, including a breathtaking 54-yard run, gave the Wolverines a late lead. But Appalachian State never flinched. After a late interception, their defense delivered the moment that would define the season, blocking Michigan's game-winning field goal attempt as time expired. The Big House fell silent. College football changed forever. Michigan falls, and the floodgates open. The shock from that upset didn't fade. It echoed into the following week when Michigan was dismantled at home again, this time by Dennis Dixon and Oregon. Dixon torched the Wolverines with explosive passing and rushing touchdowns, putting the Ducks up 32-7 by halftime. Michigan's season was over before September ended. Elsewhere, LSU looked unstoppable, demolishing Mississippi State and humiliating Virginia Tech. USC overwhelmed Nebraska and Washington State. Oklahoma dominated behind Sam Bradford. West Virginia's Pat White and Steve Slayton appeared untouchable. And then there was Tim Tebow. The rise of Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow entered 2007 carrying enormous expectations. As a freshman, he had played a key role in Florida's national championship. Now the offense was his. He wasted no time delivering. 4 touchdowns in the opener, 5 more the next week. A dominant performance against Tennessee. Tebow wasn't just winning, he was redefining what a quarterback could be. Florida looked unstoppable and Tebow looked inevitable. But inevitability didn't exist in 2007. The weekend that ignited total chaos. If Appalachian State lit the spark, the final weekend of September poured gasoline on the fire. On Friday night, 5th-ranked West Virginia traveled to South Florida, a rising program led by Matt Grothe. The Bulls announced themselves to the nation by forcing 6 turnovers and stunning the Mountaineers. That was only the beginning. Over the next 24 hours, 4 more top 10 teams fell. Oklahoma collapsed after a 17-point fourth-quarter comeback by Colorado. Florida's comeback fell short against Auburn on a walk-off field goal. Texas unraveled against Kansas State behind turnovers and special teams disasters. Rutgers fell at home. Rankings became meaningless. Predictability vanished. October delivers the unthinkable. October took the madness to another level. USC, favored by 41 points, welcomed a struggling Stanford team led by a backup quarterback. No one told Jim Harbaugh's defense they were supposed to lose. Stanford forced turnovers, capitalized on mistakes, and in the final minutes, Tavita Pritchard led a drive that included a 4th and 20 conversion to a future NFL star named Richard Sherman. Moments later, Stanford took the lead. The Coliseum went silent. USC was stunned. The dominoes continued falling. LSU survived Kentucky only to lose in triple overtime. California briefly celebrated becoming number 1, only to lose hours later. South Florida rose to number 2, then immediately fell. Every week felt impossible. Every ranking felt cursed. False kings and rising dreams. Boston College emerged behind Heisman-caliber quarterback Matt Ryan, pulling off dramatic wins and climbing to number 2. Oregon surged behind Dennis Dixon, whose brilliance made the Ducks a legitimate title contender. Arizona State joined the race, undefeated and explosive. At the same time, Florida collapsed. LSU escaped Gainesville in a dramatic comeback. Georgia erased the Gators behind Noshan Moreno. Tebow's Heisman campaign flourished even as championship hopes evaporated. No one was safe. No one stayed on top. November ends dreams ruthlessly. November is where legends are made and where dreams die. Boston College's Cinderella run ended against Florida State. Oregon's season collapsed when Dennis Dixon's knee gave out, tearing his ACL and ending both his Heisman campaign and the Ducks' title hopes in one devastating play. Ohio State appeared immune to chaos until Illinois, led by Juice Williams, walked into the horseshoe and methodically broke the Buckeyes. Oklahoma fell to Texas Tech behind Michael Crabtree. LSU collapsed again in triple overtime against Arkansas in one of the wildest games ever played. Kansas rose, then fell to Missouri. Missouri reached number 1, only to be dismantled by Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship. And then came the backyard brawl. The night that still haunts Morgantown, West Virginia, needed one win. One, at home, against a 4-7 Pitt team. A national championship appearance was waiting. Instead, Pitt's defense smothered the Mountaineers. Pat White was injured. Field goals were missed. LaShawn McCoy did just enough. A late fumble sealed it. West Virginia lost 13-9. The number 2 team fell again. Destiny vanished. Chaos crowns its champion. When the dust settled, the unthinkable happened. Ohio State, ranked 7th weeks earlier, faced LSU, a 2-loss team, for the national championship. On January 7, 2008, LSU completed the impossible. After falling behind early, the Tigers dominated, overwhelming Ohio State with defense, discipline, and resilience. In a season where logic failed repeatedly, it was fitting that the most battered survivor stood last. LSU became the first 2-loss national champion of the modern era. Why 2007 changed college football forever? The 2007 season shattered assumptions. Rankings became fragile. Parity became real. The belief that dominance guaranteed safety disappeared. College football never returned to what it was before. The chaos of 2007 didn't just entertain. It reshaped how fans, teams, and analysts understand the sport. No season will ever replicate what happened in 2007. It wasn't just unpredictable, it was transformational. And it remains the standard by which chaos is measured. If you enjoyed reliving the wildest season in college football history like this video, subscribe for more deep dive sports stories, and comment below. Where were you when your team's season fell apart in 2007?